Hey everyone, Mark Feldman here from Bang the Drum School. I want to talk to you today about encouragement. I'm going to tell you a story about something that my dad did for me that made a huge impact on my life, my confidence, my ability to be comfortable being creative and do things that some people might tell you, oh, you can't do that. So before I tell you this story, if you like this channel, please subscribe and click that notification bell so you hear about the new videos that are coming. So here's the story. One weekday in the middle of the summer, my father, Michael, took me on a little expedition from our apartment in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan, where I grew up. And we went to Midtown. I was 9 or 10 years old. So I was off from school for summer vacation, and so was my father because he was a teacher in the New York City public school system. I was drawing a lot back then. I wanted to be a comic book artist when I grew up. Our first stop on our little trip was to the offices of Marvel Comics. After that, we went to the offices of Mad Magazine. We didn't have any appointments. We just went. What I didn't understand then was that the things we did that day and the people we met would have a profound influence on my life. Perhaps one of the most important days in my young years. What was going to happen that day was pure magic. As I mentioned, we didn't have any appointments at all at either place. My dad just knew that I loved drawing. He knew that I loved comic books. So with no fear, he took my hand and off we went to see some people who knew about comic books and how the artwork was created. First stop, Marvel Comics, home of Spider-Man, my favorite superhero. I had a big sketchbook with me. We walk in and my dad walks up to the receptionist and he says, "Hi, this is my son Mark. He wants to be a comic book artist. Is there someone we can talk to?" The receptionist sees me, sketchbook in hand, smiles, picks up the telephone. A few minutes later, a man comes out to the waiting room where my dad and I were sitting on a couch. The man approached us. He had short dark hair parted on the side, glasses. He wore a button-down shirt and gray dress pants, leather shoes. He was very friendly looking. He smiled as he sat down next to us and he said, "Hi, I'm John Romita. What's your name, young man?" I think back on this now and I think, John Romita? Are you kidding me? How did that happen? John Romita had a significant run as the main artist for The Amazing Spider-Man. He defined a new look for this landmark character. In fact, he was one of the most important artists to ever draw the comic. He also drew plenty of other great things for Marvel, and he was the company's art director as well. So is an important man, and here he was sitting with me looking at my drawings. He looked through my sketchbook for a while with me and he was asking me questions. I remember him being very warm and encouraging. And all the while, my dad was just sitting there smiling. After a while, Mr. Romita said, "Well, Mark, I don't think we're ready to hire you just yet, but you come back and see us in a few years." Now, I'm guessing that he gave my dad a little wink as he said that, but I don't know if that's actually what happened. So, wow, we walked into Marvel Comics without an appointment, and the artist of my favorite all-time comic book looks at my sketchbook. Me, just a kid from New York City who likes to draw. I mean, isn't that something? Guess where we went next? Mad Magazine, where we sat in the office of William M. Gaines. William M. Gaines, the founder and publisher of Mad Magazine, as well as EC Comics, the controversial horror comic book company. This guy, he was a real renegade. So I don't recall that much about what we talked about. But what I do remember was that Gaines's physical presence was very, very distinctive. His presence was big. He was broad, tall. He must have been 6'5", at least that's what I remember. He had glasses and long, flowing, kinking, grayish hair and a massive matching beard that engulfed his face. He was like a giant hippie polar bear, but the way he acted was more like a teddy bear. And I don't remember what was said that day in his office exactly, but I do remember that he was very friendly and that the meeting felt very welcoming and warm. Now, I am positive that this day helped me to understand that I could do anything I wanted in my life. Ultimately, comic art didn't turn out to be the thing that drove me, but I learned that anything was possible. You can talk to anyone about anything. People will help you. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is try. Look at those people. They had vision, they did things, and they achieved great things. John Romita and William M. Gaines, I learned that day. If I could meet people like that and they would be helpful to me, well, and my dad would do that for me, well, I learned that I could do great things if I wanted to as well. And for that lesson, I say thank you to John Romita and thank you to Bill Gaines. And most of all, I say thank you to my dad for showing me that anything is possible and that anything you want can be yours. What a wonderful thing to believe. Now, this is what encouragement is all about. It is a major power in people's lives, and I urge you to use it to help people if you can. That's all I got for now. I hope you found this helpful. Mark Feldman, signing off.